Alright, what you see here is a NuTone Pro Line industrial ceiling fan. These were sold in the 80s. I think they were sold beginning in 1982, and up until 1989 was the last year they made them, and they were discontinued and replaced with the Pro Line 2. Now the Pro Line is a very sought out fan within the fan community due to these being childhood fans for many people, me and myself included. And yeah, a lot of people like the 56-inch versions and the 48-inch version. The difference between the 56 and the 48-inch one is that the 56-inch version has 3 blades and it's curved blades, and the 48-inch one has 4 blades that are straight like this. Now, I saw these quite a bit as a kid. The place I remember seeing these that I filmed for my childhood, that I think that was the only place I can remember filming at. It was the flea market that had 3 of them. That flea market has closed down due to the pandemic, unfortunately. And I've been keeping my eye on the place in case the fans, whenever they supposedly plan to demolish it, to try to get the fans out, because from what I know, the person plans to sell stuff inside of there, like all the building stuff, or like the tiles, or not the tiles, but like the fans and lighting and all that stuff. The stuff that's still usable, but yeah, these were made by Safer, and this one I'm assuming is from 85 or 80, either 86 and onward, due to the bottom canopy being the later version. Which you don't see too often on the 56-inch version, but on the 48-inch ones I've seen quite a bit. This is what I've always seen on the 48-inch ones, so that's the version I prefer. I'm not sure how low this fan is because the tag, as you can see, it's worn out a bit, but it looks like it says 86. That's all I have on it. Now, this fan I had gotten from Brian Peterson, better known on YouTube as Cleveland Fan Collector. When they tested this originally, the high speed was a bit slower than it should be, and that was because the capacitor was starting to drift. It's another way to say that it was starting to fail. And I have since replaced the capacitor in it. It was a 4 UF one, and I put a 4.5 UF one, as that was as close as I can find. So it's not that big of a difference, but it works with it. So yeah. Now the fan's in pretty good shape, in all honesty, for its age. There's some nicks here and there, but I just wiped it down, and it really, it's in really good shape for its age. There's some scuffing from it sitting around, but any industrial, once you get one used, it's very rare to find one that doesn't have at least some sort of scuff marks on the bottom from it being removed and such. But yeah, this one's in really nice condition. Some other places I've seen these at as a kid, the 48-inch one is that place that used to have the 2 Hampton Bay. It's those 5-bladed fans. One of them, they had those custom blades at that place. I forget what it's called. That they kind of look like Farmington, but they have just regular crescent brackets. That place, well, now there's only one of them and such, because one of them got removed by to put a menu in its place. That place originally actually had one of these and a spinner fan, where the one Hampton Bay fan that was removed, that was actually where the NuTone one was, and it was like some small antique brass spinner or some sort with like a feel light kit on it. I'm not sure what it was. It could have been, I don't know if it was a Pro Line or not. It could have been, not a Pro Line, a Slim Line. There was something in antique brass with, it could have been actually a Slim Line too, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, this is definitely one of the fans I'm looking for quite some time, and I finally got one. I definitely want to get the white version, but that one's it wasn't as much of a want compared to the brown one, because the brown ones are definitely harder to find, in my opinion, compared to the white ones. I mean, there's still quite a few white ones in my area. I see them quite a bit. The one I'm trying to get is that one at the convenience store. That's basically just like this, but in white. But yeah. I am using a Leviton 4-speed control. It's an ivory one. So start off on low. Yeah, I definitely got to thank Brian for selling me this fan, because this is something that I really thought would take me the longest time to find. Someone that's willing to sell one. But yeah, at the flea market, there was only one of them that was running last time I was there. And there was two, there was all three of them running. Then 10 years ago, one of them, I guess, stopped working. And then a few years later, another one stopped working, I guess, due to capacitors probably failing in them. These were also marked, like, they were considered an industrial ceiling fan and a commercial fan. So they are basically both. It's like an in-between fan in a sense, like it's industrial rated and it's also commercial rated. But I mean, in all honesty, you can always use industrial fans in commercial applications too, so. Now, I feel like I've seen some of these in white installed in homes. I'm pretty sure like once with my dad, I went to a house and they had, I remember it actually, it was a white one of these with a control that was like this, but it's like those NuTone solid state controls. And it was in a back room of some sort. And I always found that was like such an interesting install. Another place I've seen, like I remember, pretty sure there's a house like kind of close to me that actually has one of these in white installed there, but I'm 100% sure. And I do remember that as a kid, but I just don't know if it's still there or not. But yeah, no, I do. Yeah, it was definitely a NuTone Pro line in white, 48-inch ones. I mean, definitely wouldn't surprise me that people bought these to use in homes. I mean, I know back in like in the late 70s, early 80s, that was something that was kind of a popular thing where people would buy metal bladed fans to use in the home and such, like UFO fans or Moss Caribbean Breeze type fans and such. So it really wouldn't surprise me that if people did the same thing with these. There's a good low speed to it. Definitely probably goes a tiny bit faster because of the capacitor value. It's a 4.5, not a 4 UF one, but it's not that big of a difference. And it does have a tiny bit of a wobble, and that is because one of the blades is a tiny bit bent upwards. I tried to adjust it as much as I could, but it still has a tiny bit of a wobble. Has a nice low speed to it, moving in a nice gentle breeze. Alright, now I'll move it up to the second low speed. Just control. So low 2, which is basically a medium low. Or medium speed, I'd say. On this speed, it actually picks up quite a bit. But yeah, there's been so many videos of these, like Cole, Vintage Fansimo having videos of his from the past, like in his bedroom at his old place, his old parents' place, and various videos he did with it. Same thing with Dan Swift and Newman. He has multiple videos of these. I remember the install he did at 12 Wings with one in the breaker room. Yeah, there's just so many videos I saw, and it really made me want them even more, especially because they were already big childhood fans of mine. I do remember that there was a auto shop near that thrift store that has the Alaska fans, the Alaska Brown things, and they had one of these in brown, 48 inches, and a 56-inch one. And this is like back when I first started YouTube back in 2013, and I had planned to go and film them, but the problem was that they were closed down. I didn't realize they were closed down. A week later, I see the place being gutted out, and by the time I got there, the fans had already been scrapped, and I was really devastated about that because the guy even told me that had I shown up sooner, he would have literally given me the fans. But I mean, they're not too hard to find. But see, I see more 56-inch brown ones, but 48-inch ones I don't see as often in brown. like I used to. White ones are a different story. I see those a lot. But they're definitely out there to sit in and such. This really depends where you go. Like I definitely see like out of for like every fifth one of these, every five of these I see a white one versus a brown one. And for like every 10 of the 56-inch ones, I see. Now compared to like the 56-inch ones, in terms of like how, of like a one, like a 4 to 10 ratio, I tend to see more white ones, or like a 3 out of 7 time, 3 out of 7 times I usually like see brown ones versus compared to like white ones. Whereas like 7 out of 10 times I'll see white ones in 56 inches. But yeah, like with 48-inch ones, like 1 out of 5, I'll see a brown one. Or like every fifth one, or oh yeah, on this speed, it's definitely moving a good breeze underneath it. Alright, now for medium, or medium high. Definitely picks up a bit in speed. Based on the video that Brian did, I think it went even slower than this on the high speed, but I could be wrong because again, that's this video. Like seeing the speed on video sometimes is a little bit tricky to determine it compared to like seeing it in person. But yeah, I will be posting his channel and video of this in the description below. That way you can check his channel out and video of it. And it's definitely a good air mover for a fan of its size. I'm not sure if this one uses a cast aluminum motor or stamped steel. I know there's a way to tell, but I'm not sure how to do that. But yeah, even on this speed, it moves a good air. Yeah, I think this was actually it might have just been going as fast as this when he had it. Or maybe just a tiny bit slower. At all. Yeah, now let's go ahead and kick it up to high speed. As you can see, it definitely flies on high speed. Yeah, it's definitely one of my biggest childhood fantasies. Pro lines, the 48-inch ones. It's interesting. I never really would see these 48-inch ones on Walker down rods. It was always the 56-inch ones. These ones I always would see like with the standard size down rod you see here. I remember even at Caribbean Cove, or I think that was the name of it. The hotel that was near Fanimation that had two of these like in a pool area. That even those ones were on really short down runs like these. But not really short ones, but like for the height they were at. Like it's very odd to see these 48-inch ones on longer down routes from what I've seen. Like even other people just seeing them out in the wild, it's very uncommon to really see these with down on longer than this one here. I think it's a 2-inch down on or something like that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, no, it's not a 56-inch one, but even the 48-inch ones move a lot of air too. I'm feeling a very good breeze from it over here. And directly underneath it, it's a very, very strong breeze. Just like literally being directly underneath completely, like such a strong breeze. It's really shows you how powerful this fan is. And it's not even like a highest quality industrial fan too. There's definitely better ones out there, especially back then. Unlike today, where there's not really much in terms of industrial fans that are good, as quality like back then. Except for gold ones, but even those have kind of took a dive quality a bit compared to back then. Alright, let me go ahead and shut it off and do spin down. While I was visiting my friend, the anonymous eBay seller, I actually brought this with me so you can see it perform in person and such, and he noticed that one of the bearings in it were they were making a tiny bit of a sound. I barely even noticed it myself. And Nathan was actually there with us, but yeah, apparently it was the bottom bearing, I think it was, but he did put a tiny bit of zoom spout in it, but still makes a tiny bit of sound. But I told him that's not even a big deal to me, to be honest. Even if I was to use it like in a space, I wouldn't mind it. Especially if it's like not in a bedroom and such. So. But yeah, these fans though. They're definitely like one of the biggest childhood fans of my childhood. 56-inch ones, and these ones specifically, the 4-bladed 48-inch ones, really stood out to me. Just because they're like, oh, it's a 4-bladed fan, and I didn't really see too many 4-bladed industrials and such as a kid. I mean, I feel like that's another reason why so many collectors like these, due to the fact that they're 4-bladed industrial and such. I think it might, like for me, like out of any industrial fan from the 80s in my area, I feel like these are probably the most common to pro lines, whether it's the 48-inch one or the 56-inch one. Gold lines, yeah, would be like a second, but I definitely would have to say like these and the 56-inch ones are the most common. Actually, no. After these, I would say the relights, yeah, Masters. Those are probably the other one I'd say. It's kind of like a tie now that I think about it. These and the relights. I mean, I don't think they were that expensive back then too, so there's that. Most of them, but yeah, it's come to a complete stop. So that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.